It's been a weekend of headlines. Depending on what side of the divide you're on, it's a sweet headline or a bitter one. Somebody says that Harry Maguire scored a goal at Anfield before Isak got his first Anfield goal. It doesn't get any more painful than that. Meanwhile, on the local stage, Kumasi Asante Kotoko were involved with regards to the CAF Confederations Cup against Wydad Club. Arsenal Football Club got a very slender but important win. Manchester City also tasted victory. And then you can talk about Barcelona needing a slim win right at the death to be able to get all 3 points. Ange Postecoglou has been fired by Evangelos Marinakis. So there's a lot to chew on as far as tonight's show is concerned. The text and WhatsApp lines will be on your screens. Let me do a quick turnaround. I'll come back and then I'll introduce my good friends in the studio today. Coach Nimli is exquisitely dressed simply because he has picked up a win at Anfield. It's unfortunate, but I'll come back to that in a bit. Let me take a quick break here on the show. When we come back, we'll get into the conversation. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. My good friend and brother, Coach Christopher Nimli is here. Numo. Oh, Charlie.
Oh, nice. You're looking good, man.
Oh, nice.
You're feeling good, man.
You see, I told Mrs. Nimli
Yeah,
that.
Jamie Ty's also here. So, yeah, what's up?
Oh, I did.
I told Mrs. Nimli that I'm going to dress like this.
Hey.
Because my team is. This was my outfit for church.
Okay.
I've left my jacket in.
Oh, you mean there was a jacket too?
Of course, it's a three-piece.
Oh, Charlie.
It's a three-piece suit, man. So I told Mrs. Nimli that I will take my outfit to church to the studios today. That 10 years rubbish will be stopped today. That 10 years rubbish will be stopped today.
Oh, Charlie, which matter be this?
At least the boogie is flying all over the world. I've gotten messages from Canada, from US, from Japan, that the Apiki dance is beginning to take shape. Boko, everybody, calm down.
I can't believe this.
There's a lot to follow, a lot to follow.
A lot, eh?
It's a beautiful day. Oh, Lord Jesus.
A beautiful day indeed. Yeah, what's been going on? What's caught your attention this weekend?
Oh, well, the Ghanaian representatives doing things out there in other sports for Ghana. The national hockey female team at the AFCON, they finished second, they won silver. And just before we came into the studio, in basketball, Spintex Knights, they've also qualified to the divisional round in the Basketball Africa League. And so, seeing that and other interesting results in football, it's really lightened up my weekend.
Let's start off where Asante Kotoko did their thing today. They were up against Wydad Athletic Club. They lost the game by 1-0. The first leg here in Accra. Attendance wasn't great as well. We don't have highlights of that game, but we'll just talk through it real quick. Coach, snap thoughts. It looked to me like a game where Wydad did not even play their best. Some way, somehow, Kotoko picked up a red card. Wydad still managed to win the game, and they are going home to Morocco.
Look, first and foremost, nobody here should be surprised. I'm not surprised because I predicted this. Remember when we did the program when they had the first leg against the Nigeria? We were all very skeptical as to whether indeed, if they go past the Nigerians, you'll be able to. It's football though.
Yeah.
As for this one, unless football decides to tell its own story, there's absolutely no way that Kotoko qualifies. Football is very unpredictable. So it can decide that Kotoko goes tomorrow and it will go and tell its own story. And then Kotoko will go in there and surprise almost every single Ghanaian. That is the problem we have. You see, just after the first 2 rounds, our 2 rep in Africa, already the champions of Ghana has been booted out. So our only rep.
You have pictures of it on your
There
screen.
you go. Our only rep, as we speak, is Kotoko. And look at the sort of result they've gotten at home. This is not the sort of result you want to take all the way to Morocco. You don't want that. You want to at least go to, because you see, we've got a history with these guys. These North African teams in Ghana, we've got history. And anytime we've gone there without a very good lead,
we suffer.
We tend to suffer. Go ask Hasselfolk, go ask any team that has been there of late. Even I remember very well when Brecum Chelsea beat, was it Raja here in Brecum some few years ago? I think 5-0. Brecum Chelsea lost the return leg. But if they are not beating them 5-0 here in Ghana, they would have been booted out. This is what the people at the Football Association should be concerned about. Ingetia. Not the Black Stars. The Black Stars doesn't belong to them. This is their product. This is one of their key products. Kotoko doesn't belong to Ghanaians. Kotoko belongs to the people of Ashanti, and the people of Ashanti is part of a local league that is extremely, very, very poor and bad. When we talk, they say we shouldn't talk. Who is supposed to glory over our teams going to AFCON and being booted out of the tournament year in, year out? Are we supposed to clap our hands for the people managing our football? Our league is that poor.
Yep.
How are you? I mean, what do you think?
We're on the verge of exiting the CAF Premier competitions before the group
Before
stage.
even the group stages.
Both of our teams.
And until we are able to fix that, we'll always suffer at this stage because it is about point accumulation. We are, every now and then, we are losing more and more points. So next year, whoever wins the league, at the second time of action, will be paired against what? A very difficult top team. Then you get booted out. Instead of people at the FA to sit down, for them to look at, have a sober reflection on what they can do to improve the standard of our league. They are not interested in that.
Yeah.
After all, how many times have we not seen that their league is ongoing? If the Black Stars even have what? A friendly game, a game of no significance. All of them. The FA offices are locked up. They are what? Locked up. And everybody from president to vice president to general secretary to the least protocol person, they will all follow the Black Stars to go.
They'll go.
You know that they've been going. The recent one in the UK, didn't they go?
Yeah,
you remember that was when the Nations FC issue came about. And you asked, where are the people who own the product? They have followed the Black Star. You should be ashamed of yourself. Because it's so, you see, it is becoming embarrassing. And look, and for me, I've gotten to the stage where at times I don't even want to talk about these things. Because you just increase your blood pressure for nothing. I have enjoyed. Look, I support Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
I remember when we do, you may kiss the cup. In 2000, we were winning with chicken ease. In 2004, 2005, January, 2 Ghanaian teams were in the final of the Confederation Cup. We've not had.
That is how big a fall off this is.
Look, it's unacceptable.
Yep.
And it's painful because some of us, those were the days where we would sell our last whatever to go and watch football.
You know, the irony of football and time is that if anybody had told me from those days that this is what Ghana football would look like now, I'd have probably thought they were crazy.
Come on, you are not. I would have told the person, come on, you better get
Because
out before.
those days with
I give you some dirty
packed
slaps
stadium and everything, I thought that we're only going to get bigger from there.
And get better.
Merchandising, TV deals,
Everything improve.
stadium quality.
Look at this. Look, I don't know, but look, they will not sit up. They will follow the Black Stars because that is where they will lemon. They will, that is where, they eat it. That is where they are. You are laughing. Here, there's no, there's no kudi. The Black Stars is kudi. So they'll follow the Black Stars and they'll leave their product. Were they at the stadium today to watch Kotoko? The big men were they there? You see, you don't do this. It clearly, but you yourself, you don't recognize your league. Who do you expect to pay to recognize the league? When the league is ongoing, you are following the Black Stars for international friendly games. I should go and pay money and watch this? I beg your pardon, man.
Yeah, you have the final say on Kotoko. Like Coach said, it's bleak, but there's still a chance of rescuing this time.
Yeah. Oh, yes, there's still a chance of rescuing this tie. I know that tactically.
Yes, if they don't take it, they'll get like 6.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's true.
6.
Because
they'll put them under the cold weather, where the 9 p.m. the weather is cold. When you are playing, you are shaking. Pam, 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 pam.
I mean, because and it's pretty much true because you look at Bibiani Gold Stars when they went over to Algeria. I mean, they got hammered 5-0. And so, yes, there is that bit. And you look at the history of Ghana clubs traveling all the way to the North African countries. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, especially in recent years. And I look at Kotoko. Yes, tactically, I know that Coach Karim Zito will get them prepared tactically. But the biggest issue that they would have to address when they move over to Morocco would have to be the psychological bit. Because we've seen several quality teams who are even better than this Kotoko team move over to North Africa and struggle. They completely crumble. And it wasn't because the players weren't good. It wasn't because the coaching wasn't up there. It was because somewhere in their minds, it's implanted in there that, oh, North Africa, once you go there, they will cheat you. Your chances of winning are practically non-existent. And so they go there, and players who are of top-level quality are shaking all over the place, not because of the weather, but they are shaking all over the place, fumbling, making mistakes that you wouldn't associate with them at all. And that's what leads to those heavy defeats. And so for me, it would have to be about more of the psychological work and the execution at the final point, because Kotoko had over 13 corner kicks. Nothing came out of it. The highlights we just saw, that little clip where they were able to tag the ball into the net, it ended up ruled offside. He was in an offside position.
The fact they will not get 13 corner kick in Morocco. They will not get it there.
So that's the bit. And look, I have had issues with Mohamed Kamara, the Kotoko goalkeeper. And he proved my doubts right. Because why on earth would you go out of your post to more or less twat an opportunity for Wydad Casablanca when there was absolutely no danger, no need for him to do that? And on top of that, he handled the ball outside the box. That's how come he got the red card. There was absolutely no need for him to do that.
He was under no pressure.
Under no pressure. Patrick Asiedu had the issue contained a little bit, and he was the Wydad Casablanca attacker was on the edge of on the right side. He was not directly facing the goal, the Kotoko goal. He was not running at the Kotoko goal. The ball had been floated to the right side.
And Kotoko had a defender there.
Kotoko had a defender. So where was he going? There was no need for Mohamed Kamara to rush out of his goal to try to thwart that situation. There was absolutely no need. And he's fond of doing that. He's been fond of doing that from last season. They went over to Kwara. That game they played against Kwara in Nigeria. You should have seen him fumbling all over the place, floated balls. He was dropping them. He was
over-enthusiastic. I think
that's very much
that's the way.
They blew his trumpet overboard when they went to South Africa and he saved
a few penalties.
Then they started. You don't do that. Where's the consistency? If I'm the coach, he sets up the next 6 games.
Honestly, and this thing happened from the top 4. Top 4, he made a mistake. You remember that Ansu back pass that ended up being that own goal. Look, yes, Ansu's clearance was poor, but Kamara's positioning was equally poor, and he couldn't even get the full speed, use his foot, the foot race to be able to recover and scoop that ball and prevent it from going into the net. And he made mistakes. Unfortunately, Haruna Diary that they brought in from Bechem United, their second goalkeeper, he also came in and made a mistake in their game against Hearts of Lions. And that's the reason why he got benched and Mohamed Kamara starting ahead of him. And so for me, look, Haruna Diary, when he came on into the game, he proved that he's a solid goal. That happened in the Premier League was just a blip. And now I'm a bit confident in their goalkeeping situation moving forward because Mohamed Kamara is not that guy. I don't expect them to really rely on him consistently throughout this entire season. Whether they travel beyond this group stage in the CAF Confederation Cup or not, at the end of the day, they want to win the league and progress to the Champions League or qualify to the Champions League next season. Mohamed Kamara needs to be. They need an upgrade on Mohamed Kamara because their goalkeeping situation with him is not good at all.
The word on Asante Kotoko. Hopefully, they can get something out of that second leg in Morocco. Let's move over to Europe now, and let's start off from Nottingham Forest because that's where all the controversy starts. They were up at the Citi ground against Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea won that game comfortably, but Chelsea also have a little bit of a red card pandemic going on because they picked up another red card again in this game. Let's get the highlights because this is where Evangelos Marinakis took notes and fired Ange Postecoglou. He left his director's box seat by the 70th minute. Let's get the highlights. Chelsea were up and cooking, but this match also sealed the fate of Ange Postecoglou. So 8 games in charge in the Premier League, drew 2, lost 6. 8 games in charge overall, actually. Drew 2, lost 6. Spent 39 days in charge. Fired.
That's what, a little over a month.
Yeah, fired.
What's the name of the man?
Evangelos Marinakis.
Evangelos
Marinakis.
Marinakis.
He got up in about the 70th minute.
Yeah. After the second goal, they got up.
In fact, so less than 30 minutes after the game, the letter or the statement from the club came out that the manager had been fired.
Yeah.
Less than 30 minutes.
You see, that man, the club belongs to him, isn't it?
It does.
So he can do whatever he wants to. But I don't see why, if I'm a coach and he walks to me and approaches me that he wants me to coach his team, the sort of contract I will sign with him. It's not going to be an easy contract.
Yeah, with a lot of clauses.
A lot of clauses.
I'm sure.
But how do you hire a coach? In 39 days,
Yeah.
you've sacked him.
Yeah. They are looking for their third manager before December.
Who at all will accept this? Which right-thinking manager will accept? What was he thinking about? I mean, you had a manager in Nuno Espirito who came in at the time where you were battling relegation. Nuno saved you from being relegated.
Yep.
The following season, he nearly got you Champions League football.
Yep.
You put up a very unconvincing behavior.
Uncultured behavior.
Uncultured behavior.
Let's not even mince words.
Yes, uncultured behavior. I've never seen that before. That the owner of a club descend onto the pitch and tell
Maybe
the
in the
manager
Ghana
that,
Premier League. It happens.
Oh, yeah, Ghana Premier League.
so they are not serious. So you walk onto the pitch and you virtually blast the hell out of your manager in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
And nobody condemned that.
No.
I never
The club cooked some PR story about it. Saying
I couldn't believe it. Now, Nuno Espirito gets you into Europe. That, in my view, was what? Overachievement. You are overachieved.
Yeah.
Because
Europa League. Yeah.
you would sit down and say at the end of you want to qualify for Europa League. Nottingham Forest. I'm not looking down upon them. But the quality in the league is so huge that nobody will look at. So that was why they were actually the surprise package for all of us last season. And it got to the stage we're all rooting for them that they at least make it a complete season by qualifying for the Champions League. I would have thought that after the season you would have sat down with Nuno Espirito to iron out all those differences.
Yeah.
But you kept battling, the coach kept harassing the man, kept making life uncomfortable for him to the extent that after the first game, the man was on that. Because you had granted an interview, then the man who came to face the press said, look, I'm not on talking terms with my boss, the one who pays me at the end of every week.
Yeah.
He and myself, we all knew.
It was coming.
It was just a matter of time.
It was just a matter of
Once
time.
that statement came out.
So if you had decided on that, you should technically get proper people to advise you and go in for a manager that will suit the team you've built.
Yeah.
As to how he sat there and believed that
Poch,
his philosophy, his identity will fit this team, only he knows. I'm done.
Yeah, quick thoughts. They say Marco Silva is penned down. Sean Dyche is also penned down as a possible replacement. But are those replacements you like, first of all? And where do Forest go from this type of situation? Because like coach said, this manager's job has become unattractive.
Yeah. And I understand Roberto Mancini has also been contacted, but he turned it down.
Oh, Roberto Mancini is a big boy. He's not
he turned it down.
Manchester City, Italy, Euro-winning Mancini.
Mancini. Yeah, and so, look, Sean Dyche and Marco Silva, I doubt Marco Silva would be interested in this kind of job. Looking at how he also has a bit of a temper. You see him on the sidelines. He also has a bit of a temper. And I think Shahid Khan, the owner of Fulham, is a bit more or less eccentric than Marinakis. And
Marco Silva looks settled.
Yeah, he looks settled. So I don't.
That's
his
team.
I don't see why there will be the edge or the need for him to make that switch to Nottingham Forest in the middle of the season.
Unless they try to double his salary, maybe.
Maybe. And especially with all this chaos coming out, I doubt he'll make that move. Sean Dyche, yes, because one, he's out of a job, and number two, his style would ideally fit the Nuno Espirito Santo style. And so that could be a good pairing. But beyond all this coaching stack, and I think Marinakis has done his team a lot of damage, a lot of harm, because, like Coach said, which proper top-level coach would be interested in coming into a situation like this, knowing that the axe is right next door at your doorstep?
He sits in the comfort of that
director's box.
When he gets down with his sack the man.
Because
what is that?
Because which top-level coach who is out of work now, out of a job now, would want this kind of job? Unless he just wants the bag.
They are broke and want a paycheck.
Unless they are broke and they just want the bag. They come in, sign let's say a year and a half, 2-year deal. That will pay him let's say £10 million over the course of the contract. You get sacked, you get compensated. That's the kind of coaches that they will be able to attract at this point in time.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't think Marinakis really had a good look at this situation, because if he had, I honestly believe if he had looked at this situation carefully, he wouldn't have sacked the coach after 39 games. Especially looking at the way they played.
Yeah.
Is it looking
they
at
didn't
the
play
way
badly
they
at
didn't
all.
play badly at all.
Yeah. And we just saw the highlight.
So for me, taking that decision, it was a bit too rash. And I doubt they'll be able to attract a top-level manager, unless maybe Sean Dyche comes in and saves the day. But he will help you to stay in the league.
Yeah, your ambitions are bigger than that.
As to him getting the team to be able to get back to Europe, I doubt it.
Let me just say this, without due respect, he behaved like the ladies would do. They will hold on to grudge for a very long time. Emotions. Because I would have thought that he would have settled him the Nuno's thing when the season ended.
Yeah.
I mean, call your employer. I mean, call your employee. You are the employer. Sit down with him, and then at least with a level of, sober heads, much more respect between the two of you. He's doing a decent job. Yeah. Just say, look, maybe
I think with the Nuno thing, he had an issue with Nuno, and also Edu. He hired Edu, a former Arsenal sporting director. Edu came in and he clashed with Nuno too, and so the Nuno situation, it was beyond saving. He was bound to go. Yeah. But once they brought in Ange Postecoglou, I thought, look, at least you let him see out the season, even though he had a rocky start. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, his style is good. It was attractive. They were playing attractive football, and on top of that, you are both Greek. Ange Postecoglou is Australian, but he's of Greek descent. Yeah. And so I honestly thought that all of these on-field, off-field politics and all going in the favor of Ange Postecoglou, I honestly didn't see getting sacked after 39 games. And the funny after 39 days.
It's unacceptable. And the funny thing is that I think at the post-game presser, he was asked about the situation, and he went on an 8-minute tirade. Nobody asked him any more questions. He just went on rambling for 8 minutes and finished by saying that just like it happened at Spurs.
If you give me time, I'll win a trophy.
His spell always ends in a trophy. It didn't happen. Ange Postecoglou has been fired. Let's take our first break here on the show. When we come back, we have a few more highlights for you. Arsenal were up at Craven Cottage. They won. Manchester City also won. And then a couple more big games. Stay with us here on Scorecard. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let me read a few messages that have come through. This one here is from Mr. Chelsea, watching from Tema. Say, somebody tell FIFA to prepare. Coach's dance will be the official celebration move when Ghana wins a game in the 2026 World Cup. We love you, Coach. This one here says, hi, bro. Liverpool midfielders are bad. They have spoilt my day. Mula Omar from Tema. Abraham Jedu of Broadcasting Accra says, I'm very happy today as my two darling clubs, Hearts of Oak and United, have won their games. Osei Phobia, Osei United. This one says, hi, Ben. For the first time in a long while, I have really enjoyed my weekend. Man United won, Hearts of Oak won, Kotoko and Liverpool lost. Long may this continue. This one here says, good evening, Ben, and your sizeless crew. Bravo to our players and Amorim for mapping up a good strategy to pick up massive 3 points at Anfield. Go, Man United. Manaman says so from Doma Ahinkro. Kenneth Okateche Nuyama says, Harry Maguire was brought to Old Trafford to stop that Liverpool rubbish. Last season, he missed the chance to make it 3-2, I remember, in favor of United. Today, it has happened. To be honest, I just remembered last season he actually had the last action of the game and missed his chance. True. Philip Nyame from Tema Committee 5 says Chelsea is coming with a lot of fire this season. Watch out for Chelsea Football Club. You know what? Let's go on to more highlights. This time, let's do back-to-back. Let's get Fulham versus Arsenal, and then we'll do Manchester City versus Everton, and then we'll come back in studio and discuss. Another match day, another dead ball goal to give Arsenal the 3 points. The big talking point, though, is that they've gone 2 games now without their goalkeeper having to do anything. Somebody says he can literally work remotely. So David Raya has been so chill that he can decide to work from home. Yeah, let me start off with you on this one. Arsenal win the game away from home. Very difficult game it was going to be. Big 3 points on the board. What are your positives on this one, and are there any other things they can straighten out going forward?
Oh, positives. Look, it's a tough game, a derby game, London derby, immediately after the international break. And I love the fact that Arteta managed this game very, very well, and Arsenal managed this game very, very well, because typical London derby, what do you see? Up and down, back and forth kind of football, basketball kind of game, and endless running, tireless running all over the place, unnecessary tackles, flying in, yellow cards all over the place. But look at that game that we witnessed on Saturday. Very well managed, very well contained, quite composed kind of display and performance from Arsenal. And so for that, I give credit to Arteta. He got his boys to manage the game very, very well. And on top of that, they kept a clean sheet. They got a goal. They got all 3 points. It was just perfect. And yeah, it might not be pleasing to the eye. It wasn't pleasing at all. Trust me. It was boring, very difficult to watch. And you always had the temptation to flip the channel to another game, watch another game, because it was part of the 2 p.m. It was 4:30.
4:30, yeah.
Yeah. So you even wanted to watch another league game in another league. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. And this is how Arsenal are going to play. This is typical Arteta football. And like I said, I love the growth in the management, how he managed the game.
Managing segments of the game.
And saw out this very, very difficult game, very tricky game,
yeah.
banana peel kind of game. I loved it. But one thing that they will need to straighten, and I've said this multiple times, the hand is still on the handbrake. Look, as long as he keeps on playing central defenders as fullbacks, particularly on the right side, with Jurien Timber or Ben White, they are still going to lack a lot of creativity. There were multiple instances in that game against Fulham where on the counter-attack, the ball was worked out to the right side. All that they needed was a cross into the box for either Gyökeres to feed or Martinelli to feed. Jurien Timber couldn't figure out what to do. He couldn't cross the ball. He didn't know whether to give that incisive pass, reverse pass. He just fumbled it. And the next thing you know, they worked the ball all the way back to their midfield. Counter-attacking chance gone. And so for me, that they need to work on. That they really need to work on. I would really love to see once Odegaard returns. I know this theory sounds crazy, and a lot of people have called me crazy for it. But once Odegaard returns, they really should have a serious look at playing with a back three, with those 3 central defenders, and have Declan Rice at wing back, because his crossing ability is on point, his industry is on point, just to provide that little bit of weight that they need. Because Bukayo Saka, like you said off air, it's not giving you that weight because he's cutting in all the time.
His game has become very predictable.
And so you need a little bit of weight. That weight also comes. But the one who is manning that position is always offensively challenged. That's how I would put it. Because it's either Ben White or Jurien Timber. And attacking play or offensive play is not their strongest part of their game.
Coach, 2 things. It's clearly a positive that Raya has been on holiday in the last 2 games. Another thing for me is yes, they might not play like this every game, but is this type of football sustainable across an entire season?
I don't think so. But I don't think the entire Arsenal setup are playing well. I think they are still, like you said, maybe the handbrake. He's not unleashing them.
Isn't that what is that who he's been all this while?
He's trying to, you see, Arsenal have their way of doing things. So we saw them under Wenger. We saw them under Emery.
Yeah.
They were very solid, but they were playing the beautiful stuff. And if you watch us, maybe they're so very hungry for the league title that they are ready to sacrifice their identity.
In Arteta's defense, right? I've always said that he spent his entire first season establishing a defensive identity.
That's right.
And to be honest, he's not really moved away from it.
it.
A few times they can attack, but he has shown that he's a defense-first guy.
And just to support, in support of Arteta or in defense of Arteta, the few times that he opened up a few seasons ago, you remember what Man City did to them? Was it at the Emirates? No, it was at the Etihad. And it effectively sealed Man City's title win. And I think that result has scarred him for life.
You see, against
Traumatized.
his peers, when I say his peers, the Man City,
Liverpool,
the Chelsea,
Yeah.
the Liverpool, the Man United, when they are on those big games,
Yeah.
you are pardoned when you play in that manner, especially away from home. You are pardoned. We just saw Manchester United went to Anfield, very disciplined tactically, and won. So you are pardoned. But when you are playing against the teams you are expected to beat, and you are only beating them via a set piece like this, corner kick, then people are coming. Gabriel is coming.
kneeing into the ball.
You see, knee into the goal, then you score, then you are jubilating. These are not things you can sustain, truth be told. Tactically, these are not things you can sustain. You need to get to the situation. If you look at the attacking players he's got on the pitch, there's Eze, there's Saka, there's Gyökeres, there's Martinelli. These are players that I believe are better players when they're allowed to express themselves.
True.
I think and then I don't know whether he still doesn't trust Zubimendi. So he's not allowing Declan Rice to move away from him too much. Okay? We all know what Declan Rice adds to them. You have just said, maybe could he be
Declan
the
Rice
one
can easily be a number 10 if he wants to.
that's giving them that weight if they are playing like we saw.
If you look at his
Kevin De
finishing,
Bruyne.
his ability to arrive in the box and
Exactly.
stuff like that, he's
But
excellent.
Since Zubimendi came, he's virtually restricted him.
Yeah.
Especially away from home. He's told him, please don't move away. This is not Thomas Partey, so don't move away from him. He still have some understanding to do in the league. That year will accept. But look, for sure, they cannot. The reason why they couldn't compete last season, it got to a stage during the season they were overly reliant on set piece goals. It would dry up. Now, once it dried up, there has to be another way of doing it.
And unfortunately,
That's why they said they needed a proven finisher.
And unfortunately, it coincided with the poor form of Martin Odegaard
At the time.
at the time.
At the time. So now imagine, instead of them creating for Gyökeres, they are not doing it.
Yeah.
When are they going to start
He's
creating
still
for him?
laboring to try and get in.
When
the
things
chance.
gets even more tough, and that they believe that they are not scoring from set pieces, and now this is the sort of game you need to at least look at the highlight we watch.
Yeah.
He never had a clear chance. The one he got wasn't a chance.
Yep.
These are half if he's, that's why you could see him generate that amount of power, just because it wasn't a sort of chance that you expect your striker to feed on.
True.
And look, at Arteta, the reason why people are not highlighting, he's winning.
Yep.
But the moment he doesn't win 1-2,
You understand?
he'll be reminded that this is Arsenal.
Arsenal Football Club, in the end, getting all 3 points on the board. Let's get to another game that happened. This was at the Etihad. Manchester City Football Club were up against Everton. Jack Grealish has been phenomenal for Everton this season, but being on loan at Everton and playing against his club meant that clauses in that contract meant he couldn't play. So he was absent. In the end, I think Everton felt they felt his absence. There was a lack of creativity. There was a poor finishing on their part, and Man City took all 3 points on the day. Let's get the highlights. So Pickford denying Erling Haaland a hat-trick there, but in the end, 2 goals were enough to get them the 3 points. They are doing pretty well, Coach. Manchester City, very straightforward type of win, but Everton played this into their hands.
Look, to be honest, we were on Football Republic and we were monitoring and commenting on this game.
Yeah.
I think the tone for the game was set.
Yeah.
We knew Man City would dominate. We knew Everton would sit back and play on the counter. But one thing that is so key, when you have your team playing on the counter attack, those little moments, when they come, you need to make it count. We were on Football Republic and were highly critical of the Everton striker. Beto. I mean, he's a very, I don't know what sort of striker is that.
Coach. Like,
he's just not good.
Look,
he must.
He's not good.
Look, I think his stars are so bright that he finds himself playing for Everton in the EPL. Yeah. He only thrives on the physicality of the game, pushing people.
That's nothing with it anyway.
No, but at the end of the day,
that's nothing with the physicality anyway.
But you must comment Man City. I was a bit disappointed in the manner in which Everton considered that fair score, because when you watch the replay, when the ball went wide to the left back, Erling Haaland was the only Man City player in the box.
There were about four Everton players around him. They were
all four Everton players. None of them got closer to him. They all just waited for him to come and meet the header. I was looking at what a David Moyes' team.
Shocking.
There's Michael Keane, Tarkowski. By Premier League standard, these are experienced Premier League defenders. They've done this thing for years, so they should have seen that. They didn't see it. And you see, Erling Haaland has laid down his mark. He's not the sort of striker who will pardon you. No. If you refuse to do the basic things to undo him, he will punish you.
I admire his hunger. I admire his hunger.
I like him so much.
For somebody who's the reigning top scorer, he's the reigning highest paid player in the league. He plays like he's still he's some broke lad trying to make a name.
I mean, I like him so much.
He wants to score as many goals.
If you don't do your work, he will expose.
If you give him 10 chances, he will score 10 chances.
Yes. True. I mean, these are the sort of players you want to watch and you want to have play for you. So for me, look, but without a doubt, from the way Liverpool are playing, the way Arsenal themselves, very unconvincing, although they're on top of the league, Pep Guardiola will be looking at this league
and saying that, you know what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I can
get in here.
I think I can push myself.
Yeah. In fact, they went top of the table temporarily before
until Arsenal won.
Yeah, Arsenal won the game.
As it stands, they are still winning because there are some established winners in that team still.
And they've already lost twice.
They've already Liverpool struggling. Arsenal, we don't know. I think if Chelsea can get their acts together, I think they will be another formidable competitors for the league.
Yeah, just snap thoughts on where coach ended. So from what on Manchester City, are they back? Are they close to being back?
They are not back. They are not back. But they are close to being back because Ryan Aït-Nouri is coming back from injury. Cherki is also coming back from injury. And so they are close to being back. But I doubt they'll be like...
Rodri is still injured.
Rodri is still injured. And so I doubt they'll be like what they were a couple of seasons ago. Because one, yes, Rodri is injured, and number two, and most importantly, their right full back position still hasn't been solved.
Yeah.
That's why I was very, very surprised they didn't go in for a guy like, let's say, Denzel Dumfries in the off-season. Because the left full back situation, they sorted it out with the signing of Aït-Nouri from Wolves. But the right full back position, they are still relying on Matheus Nunes to play as a right full back. Sometimes they play Rico Lewis. Yeah. Those things, it will be very difficult for them to be able to get the better of the top teams. Look, Liverpool and Co, Liverpool is playing Szoboszlai because they had to deal with some injury issues. But on the normal basis or on a normal slate, they are not playing him a full 90 minutes at right full back position. But you have Man City playing Matheus Nunes. Sometimes
at this point, he's a right back even.
But
virtually,
he's played right back so many. He's played more right back than central midfield these days.
But that's where the issue is, because as a right full back, makeshift right full back, he's expected to move forward, and he does move forward.
Yeah.
And when you have Aït-Nouri also moving forward, because he always moves forward, he plays as a wing back more than as a full back. And now that he's out, you have Nico O'Reilly in there, and he's as slow as hell.
And if you saw the game, Ilman Ndiaye got the better of O'Reilly multiple times. In fact, minus Beto's poor finishing, they would have been having a very difficult, different conversation
in the first half. So I look at those issues and I realize no, they are not.
They're not there yet.
The dominant force that they were a couple of seasons ago, and maybe until their general transfer, if they can bring in someone to solve that fullback position, the right fullback issue, I don't see them being the dominant force.
Let me just add this before we switch. I think it's good to have a number 9 like Erling Haaland, but when you overly rely on him for the goals,
he covers a lot of their issues. With his goals,
the day he's injury-wise,
you just need to pray he never gets injured.
Pray he never gets injured. And I look at the team and I say, what happens if he gets injured? They will struggle, because he's more or less like he's at the end of everything they are doing.
Yeah.
So they know when they are playing, then all we need to do is to quickly get it to him. Now, the moment he's not there and they have to find an alternative route to go, I want to see them doing such stage and see whether, because in days where they had the fear factor, they could choose to go force number 9, they could play without Aguero, but the outcome will still be the same. I don't think this group of players still do have the Erling Haaland factor.
Yeah. But
as a group, they have a long way to go to put fear in their opponent.
Well, that's Manchester City for you. Still trying to return to their dominant state. Still not quite there yet. Let's take our second break here on the show. When we come back, we still have a few really good games for you. We have the big game of the weekend, which was between Liverpool and Man United. And then there was an absolute 6-goal thriller involving Crystal Palace. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back here on Scorecard with more highlights and more analysis. Stay with us. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let's get in with more highlights. This time, let's take the action to the Tottenham Stadium, where Spurs were at home but lost to Aston Villa. Villa have been struggling a little this season, but they managed to dig deep and got all 3 points on this particular match day. Let's get the highlights. Few things sweeter than a comeback victory, to be honest. Let me take y'all's thoughts to begin with this on this one. Struggling Villa win at Spurs, and Spurs have been on a high lately, so this must have been a disappointing result.
Yeah, very disappointing result, but very impressive result for Aston Villa. Look, at the start of the season, very wobbly kind of performance, very wobbly kind of results, but they've recorded 5 straight wins since then. And you would have thought that, okay, yeah, Monchi, their director of football,
left here,
leaving, it would have rocked the boat a little bit, but it looks like, yeah, they got that little bit of a hangover after last season. Of clearly they are off it. And I look at the performance of this team against Spurs. Look, it was a very impressive performance. But again, the issues that we've highlighted on multiple occasions regarding the limited creativity from Tottenham Hotspur, minus Kudus and Javi Simons, yeah, it read its head again. In the sense that, look, it was very difficult for them to be able to consistently break down this Aston Villa defense. And I was very impressed with the performance of Morgan Rogers. We were talking of how good a player he is. And trust me, I've heard multiple reports and, from England that once he plays, he makes Harry Kane a better player for England. Yeah. Because Harry Kane will typically drop deep.
Yeah.
Harry Kane will typically drop deep. And once he drops deep, you need someone to run beyond him to occupy that space that he's left. And that's where the Morgan Rogers strength comes in. Once you have him doing that, once you have Anthony Gordon doing that, once you have Bukayo Saka doing that, then you get the best out of Harry Kane, because when they run ahead of him, then they act as the decoy strikers. He can come in, if they mess up, running in behind, they mop up every mistake that might potentially happen. And so, yeah, for England, look, for Aston Villa, he's been doing very well. And for England, he looks like he's gate crashing the party and potentially could end up forcing Jude Bellingham to come off the bench. As crazy as it sounds, unless there are plans for, Thomas Tuchel has plans for Jude Bellingham to replace Elliot Anderson, playing alongside Declan Rice in that central.
And don't forget, Bellingham has been injured this season. He's not really played a lot of football this season. It's been very patchy. Look, time is even fast spent. Let's get into more highlights, because I want to hear a lot more expanding on the big game itself. Let's get to that big game and it happened between Liverpool Football Club and Manchester United. Your captain, my captain, our captain, everybody's captain, deciding how the game eventually ended. Lots of questions to be asked with regards to how this game ended. Let's get the highlights of this game. We'll come back in studio and discuss. Like I've been saying, my captain, your captain,
He's not my captain.
our captain,
He's not my captain.
everybody's captain.
He's not my captain.
Like we said, last season he could have decided this tie.
Yes.
This season he said, you know what, I am the big man here. I am winning this. And this is the first United win at Anfield in 10 years. Wow. This is a big deal.
So like I said, it had to stop.
Back-to-back Premier League wins for Amorim as well.
For the first time for Amorim.
Huge.
You remember when we discussed the issue on Sports Panorama, I said, these are things that should be used to go and motivate them. You've not had back-to-back wins. What a place to go to make sure you end that. You've not won there in 10 years. Go and stop it. It cannot be allowed to continue. And for those of us who support the team like myself, I told you earlier, but when I was dressing up, I said, look, I just felt that we'll beat Liverpool today. Let me just come in this outfit to rep.
You strap.
Ah, Charlie. I for rep. Oh, Charlie.
Oh, man.
Charlie.
You strap.
Charlie, I was strapped and come.
Oh, my goodness.
You understand? But having said that, look, when I saw the team sheet, the United team sheet, and I didn't see Lenny Yoro, I wasn't happy. Because the last time we had Delete, Maguire, and Shaw at Brentford, they were exposed for pace. But just after thinking through that, I said that, no, this is against Liverpool. So clearly they will not push high up the pitch. It will be suicidal if you are playing Maguire against Liverpool at Anfield and you want to play a high line. Then I quickly called back and I said, maybe you're going to sit. Liverpool had Grafenberg, Alexis McAllister, Soboslai. Those guys are workaholics. So if you look at what Man United had to come back to them, was Casemiro, who had played 90 minutes for Brazil, Bruno Fernandes, and then Mason Mount. So I told myself that then clearly Amorim is going to sit back. Then once that became that clear, I was asking myself, who were the outlets? So United today had three very good outlets. In Ahmad, in Mbeumo, and then Cunha. So I remember people were saying that, why has he benched Sesko? And when we were on the Republic, I quickly said, I would have benched him. If that was the system, then I would have benched him because I believe Cunha is a better carrier of the ball. Because United are going to be sitting very deep, including Cunha himself will have to be in the half of United. So when they win the ball, and you want somebody to not do an immediate turnover through his ability to carry the ball, then Cunha was the better option. When the game started, Liverpool, I don't know whether they were shocked or they were surprised that United came at them. Shockingly, at Anfield, you've lost 3 games in all competition on the road. So your intent, in my view, should have been made very clear from the word go. United started the game. Mbeumo gave the ball to the goalkeeper, who went long, and that set the tone. But with Van Dijk and Konate and co at the back, you expected Liverpool, they didn't deal with that. Now, look, Van Dijk has been one of the best Premier League defenders in history. I will add him to the likes of Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, Nemanja Vidic, Ricardo Carvalho. I'll put him in that bracket. But of late, truth be told,
he's not been on his
age is catching up. He's 34 years. As a centre back, even during his heydays, he was not, in fact, very pacey. If you look at the first goal Man United scored today, I blame him all day. Why do I say so? When he came and crashed into Mbeumo, who also then had to
pick himself up,
crash into Alexis McAllister, Van Dijk landed on his 2 feet. Mbeumo fell down on the ground, took himself up, and by the time he took himself from the turf, Van Dijk had a distance on a gap between. Mbeumo ran from behind. And at the time, you could clearly see that Man United had been outnumbered. It was only Ahmad, and the only option he had was the Mbeumo's option. as to how Van Dijk allowed Mbeumo to run past him and the weight of the pass from Ahmad was absolutely brilliant. Any other player, or most players, would have gotten that execution wrong. And Mbeumo, with his right foot, least expected, bang into the back of the net. Once everybody expected United to go and get beat, and they had scored the first goal, it means the game plan would now have to be perfectly executed. So in that first half, they executed. But Liverpool had some few decent, I think 2 decent moments.
They hit the post actually twice.
That was a complete giveaway in the first half. From Luke Shaw, under no pressure, he just passed the ball to Mohamed Salah. Man United nearly paid for that. But I must comment on the United goalkeeper. Look, if this is what he's going to bring, oh la la. Oh la 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 la.
Your prayers have been answered.
Oh la 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 la. If this is what the young man is all about.
You mean oh la la?
Oh la la. If this is what he's all about, then we are looking at the next Peter Schmeichel, the next Van der Sar, without blowing his tongue. Because look at him. He was so calm.
Yep. And this was a huge, this was United's biggest game of
This is
the
the
season.
biggest game in the whole English football calendar.
Facts.
This is his second start for United. He goes to Anfield. Look at that 1v1 against
Salah.
No, Isaac. Let's talk about the Isaac. The one he saved with his right foot. Every good goalkeeper is very fluent, or very good with the feet. Because, look, Isaac is a fantastic striker. You saw what he did? He hit the ball on the turf, meaning that if the keeper were to do this, by the time he gets down, it's gone. So how many times didn't we see David De Gea use his leg to do? So those are taught as part of the goalkeeping routine. Now, when the ball is that close, it's better to use your feet than to use your hand. And then look at the Mohamed Salah one. Most Liverpool supporters are blaming Salah for not executing that. And I said, no, go and watch it again. It is the goalkeeper. By the time Salah got the ball under control,
top of him before he controlled.
He had already closed and he made himself very bad.
Yep.
So that took something away from the legend. But having said that, look, Liverpool have to set up. And his slot has been slotted four times on the
back to back. 3 in the Premier League, 1 in the, I think, Champions League.
Champions League,
He cannot allow that. Look, there are, I think, yes, Kerkes, Premier League experience. But the Robertson immediate Kerkes replacement, whilst Robertson still sits on the bench, I think he should look at that again.
To be honest, Kerkes has been rubbish.
I think he should really look at that again.
He's been rubbish.
Because defensively, today, he was lucky Ahmad got a yellow card. When Ahmad was substituted, I said, no, it's because of the because United were doing a lot of one-on-one marking. So once he had gotten a yellow card, he needed to put and reinstate somebody who is fresher. He was lucky because when the game got stretched, if United had Ahmad on the pitch, that would have been completely different. And then I think he needs to take him off a bit, reinstate Robertson, and let him learn the Liverpool way of doing it from Robertson. He's been exposed too much. And then Slot 2 will have to again look at Chiesa. Chiesa have shown that anytime he's been given 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he's an experienced Italian international. He virtually won the Euros for Italy. When they hosted the Euros in England. I was saying this on Football Republic that maybe it is easy to drop him because he came for 4 million? But it is not easy to drop the 100-something pound player. But once, he came very cheap. But I think he's a player that deserves his time. He's been very calm. He's been very disciplined. Despite the treatment he's received from the Liverpool coaching staff, not bad. But if you can decide not to include him in your Champions League list, only for him to be brought back because somebody got injured, and the manner in which he's carried himself, these are things you want to look at as a coach and say, come on, maybe this guy. And he's shown it on the pitch too. That's my
In fact, he has more goal contributions this season than any other Liverpool player.
That's it. Look at today. Look at the assist. When he came in, that extra vibe, knowing what he was about and all that, contributed to the Liverpool setup. Maybe, my last point. Salah is under too much pressure. I think it is coming from the coaching staff. You see, I understand that When Liverpool need goals to come back into the game, you don't sub Mohamed Salah. Because still, on the face of all, he's the best goal scorer in that team.
Yep.
Isak is yet to even score a goal at Anfield. Ekitike came in, he's hit the ground running. But truth be told, today, he was very selfish. When he came in, he had two very good, where he needed to just play the pass.
Yeah.
He over-elaborated and just took the bad decision. Maybe, if the Egyptian would accept it, 1 or 2 games. But the fear is that if you take him out and the team begins to win, reinstating him becomes a problem. And you don't want Mo Salah to be a problem.
Will you play politics with your team, or you want to win football matches?
No, you see, he's a starter, without a doubt.
He's a star player, talisman.
Yeah, he's the talisman of the team, without a doubt. So, but not getting him to lose his position, maybe just taking him out one game, two games, and then bringing him back will do the trick.
Yeah, snap thoughts on the Liverpool situation. Some fans are calling for Arne Slot's head already. I mean, do you see a turnaround happening? Because Liverpool have looked pretty disjointed all season, and it is culminated now in 4 straight defeats.
Yeah. I think the fans who are calling for Arne Slot's head are a little bit way too impatient. Look, before the start of the season, I wrote an article and I highlighted the coaches who are under the most pressure coming into the season. And I included Arne Slot. And people were coming for me because they were like, how do you include the defending
the guy who just won the
champion,
league.
the guy who just won the league in his first season in this list? But they didn't understand where I was coming from. And it was because of the fact that, yes, you made it to the top, but staying there is more difficult than making it to the top. And on top of that, you came in with a team that was pretty much set. You came in and came to meet a team that was pretty much set.
Yep.
So the expectation is, now that you've had a full season to settle in, set your own.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they went on that spending spree. And once you go on a spending spree, you know the expectations will be high. So he was always going to be fighting a losing battle when it comes to meeting expectations. Because even when they went on
Victim
that
of his own success.
Yes, because even when they went on that 7-game winning streak, there were still question marks all over the place. People were still questioning him. Why are we conceding? Why do you have to do a comeback?
They needed 4 late game winners.
Exactly. So
But
it was
again,
always
to be
going
fair
to come.
to them, the game they lost against Chelsea, last minute. I think they lost another one again in the diamond.
but the Crystal Palace one.
No, but they also won 4 late games. So
yes. But now the biggest concern is about set pieces.
Yeah, they are conceding 2.
They lost to Crystal Palace.
Considered from set pieces.
A throw.
Yep.
Today, they lost by...
By a set piece.
A set piece.
Man United had a corner.
Then they recycled it. And they recycled it.
Then
they conceded. And so, now you look at that defense. Take out Konate, take out Van Dijk. Or even that team.
Yeah.
Take out Van Dijk, take out Konate and Ryan Gravenberch. Is there anyone who's about... Okay, then the strikers. They don't necessarily commit defensively when it comes to defending the set pieces. And so, if you take out Konate and Van Dijk, the others don't necessarily help out defensively when it comes to defending the set piece. Yeah. And especially, and that's a big problem, when you have a very petite Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez, McAllister, short guys in there. So you need your strikers to come in and commit defensively a bit more when it comes to the set pieces. And unfortunately, Ekitike and Isak, they are not doing that. And that's another reason why they are struggling to deal with these set pieces late in games.
Liverpool Football Club have a ton of issues. Let me take my final break here on the show. When we come back, I have that super game, that 6-game thriller I'll play for you. And then we'll have that game versus Barcelona. See if we can squeeze in some basketball at the tail end before the show. And stay with us here on Scorecard. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Channel 1 TV. Let's get into back-to-back highlights. Let's get that Crystal Palace AFC Bournemouth 6-game thriller. And then we'll follow it up with the Catalonia derby between Barcelona and Girona. Let's get the highlights. So Barcelona scored a late winner in that one to give them all 3 points. Just quick thoughts on that. They have a big game on the horizon.
They needed to win this because already Real Madrid is in the lead.
Yeah.
When I say that they are the pace setters. Barcelona is the defending champion. So if they hadn't gotten something from this game, then it means that Real Madrid would have opened how many points?
4 points.
4 points. But as it stands, it is what, 3 points?
Yes, pretty much. Because they won
Yeah.
tonight. They beat your team,
Getafe.
Getafe.
Exactly. So it is better you make it, you keep it at 3 and then go into the Clasico. So I think coming weekend is the
Yeah, Clasico, yeah.
So Barcelona getting the win there. Just snap thoughts on the Palace and that Palace game, the 6-goal thriller.
Yeah, crazy game. That's why I look at that kind of game, and that's why I commended Mikel Arteta, because you saw how crazy it was, end-to-end kind of stuff, a goal first pretty much. And that's what Arteta prevented with that 1-0 win over Fulham. I love the fact that it was an entertaining game, a game full of equals. And yes, I had my eye out on Edin Ketia, looking at everything that's going on with regard to the diaspora and potentially getting into the Black Stars. He came on, he did okay. But at the end of the day, Antoine Semenyo got another assist, so that's what, 10 goal contributions this season. But yeah, Mateta's form is incredible, and at this rate, though he looks he's a late bloomer, but look, he could potentially move along with Oliver Glasner to one of the top 6 clubs.
So Napoli lost to Torino, Bayern beat Dortmund, and then Roma also lost to Inter Milan. Let's spare a few thoughts for the Spintex Knights. They have qualified in the divisional round to the 2026 Basketball Africa League qualifiers.
Yeah. They've qualified from the zonal to the divisional round, and they were in Côte d'Ivoire, in Abidjan to be precise, this past weekend. It was on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They played their first game. They lost that particular game to the host team, the host nation, Jeunesse d'Abidjan. And in the second game, they beat LPRC Oilers from Liberia. And in the third game, just before we came into the studio, they ended up beating a Long Coton from Benin, 68-58. And so they've qualified from the zonal division to the divisional round. Last year, that's where they reached, but unfortunately, they couldn't qualify to the main competition. And funny enough, the team that won the zonal division, that's Al Ali Benghazi from Libya, they ended up winning the entire competition, the main competition itself. And so that tells you how strong that division is. And so I'm hoping this time around, they're able to use that experience from last year and to be able to progress beyond the divisional round this time around. Yes, the sports minister, Kofi Adams, paid them a visit before they moved over to Abidjan. So I'm hoping that now that they've qualified, when they are about to make that trip over to Algeria, I believe, later this month, he will be able to give them that little bit of support, because that's where the financial demand comes in.
We want to see more non-football support, so it's a step in the right direction. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to them.
Nice outfit. Keep enjoying your first back-to-back win. It's the only time it will happen. Thank you very much, Yahya James. I appreciate you having me on the show. Big ups to all of you who texted into the show and also made time to watch the show. We appreciate all of you. Same time next week, Scorecard. We'll be back on your screens.